Wytpod. I'm Stephen Bunn, your host with White Labs, an e-commerce marketing agency. Today's guest is Ben. Ben, feel free to introduce yourself and let our viewers know about your background.
Hey, Stephen, thanks for having me. I'm Ben Hoehn. I'm a fractional marketing lead at Mojomogul. So I do three main things: GTM, demand gen, optimization for different marketing programs, and then generative AI readiness for different companies.
Amazing. What inspired you to create your brand?
Really, it was this nagging suspicion that one day I'd eventually work for myself or start something up. I'd been hiring, building, and networking with a lot of different teams, and one thing was consistent. I'd always have a handful of people on these teams that I built. They'd say, "When are you going to start your own thing? When are you going to start your own thing? I'm ready to come join you." So this is step one of starting my own thing.
Awesome. Who is your ideal target audience?
Generally, it's been a few different audiences here. Let me hit that. I work with kind of three different groups. One is mainly early stage startups, people that either just got funding or they're about to get funding. They need me to come in and actually build a marketing team, build scalable process, and build everything out for them. So that comes with me, either going in an IC in some cases or laying out the strategy, making recommendations and hire, tech stack, all that stuff, right? Kind of a one-person marketing army. The second audience are mid-market and enterprise companies that have established teams, have established processes and products and everything like that. But what they usually do is they need help, either re-optimizing or launching something net new. A lot of times it's ABM or it's, hey, our digital program is not working. We need an overhaul, or, this demand gen strategy with, content marketing, customer marketing, or something along the way just needs help. And then the third is something new that I've been starting to do, and I'm getting a lot more traction here, are companies of all sizes that want to leverage generative AI to either improve a process, displace legacy tech, or just get started. Say, hey, what do we do? Give us an assessment. How ready are we, and where can we improve?
100%. What makes you different or better than your competitors?
My differentiation is what someone called strategecution. Which is, as opposed to a lot of different fractional CMOs, I actually come in and can do the work and not just lay out the strategy. Most of the time, if you hire someone fractional or even bring in a consultant, the age-old thing is, hey, this consultant flew in, told us 20 things to do, and flew out and ran away. They threw an action grenade at us and took off. I don't do that. I will actually stay and begin to execute the strategy. And as I said, I can train resources that you have on, how to do the job that I'm kind of doing in terms of best practices, or help you hire, recommend, and replace me with that team, so I'm not having to stick around. But I don't like to leave any of my clients with just, here's the laundry list of stuff to do. Good luck.
100%. What are your most popular services that you're offering right now?
Yeah, I would say the growing is this AI readiness concept. So I'm starting to put together a more robust offering in which I'm evaluating different tools. People started calling me Ben GPT a little while ago because I have this secret list of tools, AI tools that I evaluate, and I kind of categorize them. And so now I just get Slacks and messages from a lot of different CMOs and other marketing leaders who are like, hey, you have a tool that does, market sizing, or one that will do TAM, or one that does, this or that or the other thing. And I'm like, yeah, I've tested these three. Here's my top recommendation. Here's kind of what they cost. I keep getting those requests, and I keep doing this for free. So that tells me I ought to formalize it a little bit more. So that's one of the newer things out there.
Definitely. What's the future plan for yourself?
I'd love to scale this into more of an agency approach. My background comes from demand gen agencies and branding and marketing agencies. Those were how I got into the marketing industry and how I always pictured myself getting in. And then I got the startup bug kind of after working on a couple of agencies, and that's been great. But I really do kind of like that model, and I like networking, evaluating talent, recommending talent, as you can tell. And as everyone has kind of asked me to, they keep saying, when are you going to do your own thing? And to me, the model is some form of an agency. I would say it's more evolved than that. I think agency has almost become a four-letter word. But if you have people that really know what they're doing, that can kind of come in and do that strategecution portion, I think that model is super effective.
Definitely. What has been the most successful way to promote yourself so far?
Doing stuff like this. So just having conversations with other marketing leaders, networking there. I'm also living in the Bay Area, so I attend at least one or two networking events a week. I still know a ton of people and vendors at just about every conference, so I can kind of always get a ticket and walk around and meet with people that I know, either previous clients or vendors that I've worked with. And then finally, just getting referrals from my existing clients, putting the work that I do out there, and then just continuing to have discussions like this. Also, joining communities is a great way. I highly recommend for anyone listening to this to join the either Rev Genius community. That's been a very effective community for me. I've met a lot of smart people on there that I've worked with before or that I've just met. Most of the people, especially people that are super experienced, have been very receptive to just say, hey, let's get on a quick 10-minute call. Tell me about you. You tell me about me. Let's find a way to work together or something, and it's just been very, very fruitful. Like there's good vibes in that community, as opposed to some of the others that just become like a Slack pitch that you have to just turn off after a while.
100%. Since starting and being a fractional marketing leader and being an entrepreneur, what are some challenges that you faced and how were you able to overcome them?
I think for people that do this, if you're not into networking and self-marketing in some way, it's probably not for you, especially in this day and age when everyone has the ability to do so. Everyone has the ability to, churn out a ton of different blog posts and videos and all this content on LinkedIn or any platform. So they're going to get more traction if you're not into that. And that is just the nature of the beast. No matter how effective you are, it's just not going to work unless you have like a really deep inroad in a network of capital that is going to keep you fed. You're going to have to do kind of that biz dev style self-marketing. I am one that's into it. I am in marketing, so I don't mind doing it all the time. It also helps me network and meet new people, and I like to try and meet a new person a day, and I like pushing out content and things like that. So that is now part of the game. The second piece is always having a little bit of biz dev. It's one of the things that I did have to learn as well. I like having, just enough to keep me busy in terms of clients. And so I tried to tell people, hey, I'm at capacity. I can't take on any more work. But even in this space, when you're fractional, you kind of always have to be receptive to maybe taking on one more client or just saying, hey, yeah, I could take something on, because you never know. Things do change. You'll need to, add something else, or you'll need to kind of refer someone to someone else as well. So kind of those two things, always be marketing yourself, and then always be receptive to one more project. If you can't do it, pass it on to someone else in your network. I work with a series of different agencies that are happy to kind of take on work, and I'll feed them, and then they'll feed me as well.
Awesome. It's amazing advice. What advice can you give an entrepreneur that's looking to start a brand here in 2024?
Now's a great time. What I'm hearing universally, and one of the big reasons I went fractional, is because everyone is tasked with doing more with less. What that means is people have likely lost either tech budget for spend or resources, budget for actual hires. But what's interesting is some of those budgets have just shifted to, organizations saying, hey, we're not going to pay for like a W-2 employee and their insurance and all the oversight that comes with that. But what we might do is pay for, a fractional, which is why there are so many of us now. So now is a great time to kind of join that crew. I went through several different branding exercises before I started this, so I highly recommend going through a series of those. There are a ton online. I'm not going to just recommend one because I did a few different ones. I also am a member of the NASDAQ Entrepreneur Group out here in the Bay Area, so I've seen a ton of those talks, and I've spoken with a lot of those speakers that have given me just a lot of different insight. But it boils down to, establishing your personal brand. What are your strengths? What are you good at? Converting that into an offering, like I just laid out kind of the three things that I do. If you do not have that kind of elevator pitch yet, build that. That's the first thing that you really need to build. And then you can deploy that into, an actual website, an actual formalized offering. And then you can kind of climb through the ranks of building your client base and kind of going from there. So my advice is go through that exercise, get something out there, and then just start doing it. And then obviously always be marketing yourself as well.
Definitely, Ben. Where can our listeners find your content, find what you're putting out there right now? Where can we find you right now?
My main channel is LinkedIn. So if you just follow me, it's LinkedIn at Mojomogul, Mojomogul, or mojomogul.com. That's where I'm the most vocal. The other channels are more my personal channels. So feel free to connect with me on Instagram, but you're going to see a bunch of kid photos.
Amazing. Amazing, Ben. Anything I haven't asked you that you want listeners to know about
Well,
yourself
this
and the
is this
future?
has been sorry, this has been good stuff. If you do follow me, just stay tuned. I do a lot of different webinars and case studies, and if you do connect with me, feel free to ask questions. Or if you're on Rev Genius, feel free to ask questions in the marketing channel. I usually offer free advice there. So one thing that I do just for anyone out of that community, if someone asks a general question, like usually what to me is a marketing one-on-one question, hey, have you tried to deploy ABM, or what's the best event way? I will happily answer that and give you kind of a free playbook that you can run with on your own, because I just believe in that kind of, helping out the next generation philosophy as the best way to build community.
Awesome, Ben. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your brand and your story. I appreciate your time today.
Same. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Definitely.